right, a very good Thursday morning to you. We call it Friday Eve. I know it doesn't necessarily always feel like a Friday, especially with so many folks working from home. We want to welcome you into Daily Dive. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you're up watching Good Morning Jacksonville between 4:30 and 7 o'clock. But now it is 8 o'clock, which means it is time to dive into all of the trending stories of the morning. Want to say good morning to Philip. Good morning to Scott. Good morning to Jackie. Good morning to Sarah. And there's Keitha. Good morning to Keitha. Good morning to Steve. How y'all doing?
Good morning, Brooks. How we doing? We're hanging in there. Keith, how you doing?
Hey, good. Oh, man, I can't hear Brooks.
What?
Listen, it is always a problem with Keitha Nelson, okay? We can hear her sometimes and she can't hear us. So we have so many stories to get into. So, Keitha, you can hear us or you can't hear us? Always a problem. That's just got me playing back.
Rudeness.
All right, so let's get right into this first story. I know you guys saw it as our headline on the video.
I'm listening to you on Facebook Live.
Oh, okay. All right.
She's a little delayed.
Whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do. Let's play this first video. We're going to show you a man who a lot of people can't stand on the internet right now because of his actions and what he did. Do you see him right there? He's actually at a Walmart. This is out in Missouri. He's in a Walmart and he starts to lick the items. So I hope it's playing. I don't know, David. Is it playing?
It's there.
I can't actually see it. Okay, yeah. So this is a 26-year-old. A 26-year-old licking items at Walmart to mock the fears of the coronavirus pandemic. Well, turns out he's been arrested and he's been charged with terrorist threats. Now, keep in mind, the CDC tells us that if you decide to, have, or if there's something on a surface and you end up touching it, then you touch your mouth, you touch your eyes, you can get coronavirus. Why would this man think this was okay?
What? What? Time and place, man. Time and place. Maybe like 2 years ago when like doing little pranks like that was funny and you get a bunch of likes on YouTube. Time and place, my friend. Man, just do better. Man.
Steve, I'm even going to challenge you on what you just said about.
Really? When was that ever funny? That's
what I was even about to say.
All right, sorry, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
I said trying to be funny. I said trying to be funny. I didn't say funny.
Takes
trying.
Me back. I'll tell you, this automatically made me think about when people were licking all over the Bluebell ice cream and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That just happened, sometime last year. Foolishness. Hold on, let me get to a couple of comments and then Keith, we'll hear you. So Mary's saying, well, he could end up with COVID-19. He could if it was sitting on one of those. Darcy saying, I would cut his tongue off. Pat saying, world's dumbest criminal.
Susan agrees with you, Brooke. Susan
David,
just said, when was that ever funny?
Your comment, David, but that is quite hilarious. He's going to be doing a lot in jail. You're right about that. Felicia saying a big dummy. That's so ridiculous and sick. And Sarah, disgusting.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can all probably agree on that. I don't think this is one of those stories that we all have, different ideas of. It was disgusting. And again, now he's been arrested and charged. Terrorist threats because you potentially put somebody else.
Where is this exactly, Brooks? This thing happening?
This is at a Walmart out in Missouri. And he's licking the deodorant. So he's in the deodorant aisle, and he just runs his tongue down all the deodorant.
Maybe he had bad breath. Maybe he needed to freshen up.
What is deodorant going to do for your bad breath?
It smells better than, I don't know.
Last time I checked.
That's something, man. That's something. Just look at the video. He's not a care in the world. My goodness. Do better. Just do better, please.
So you know what the problem is right now? He is proving right. All of those folks who are saying the younger generation doesn't care and blah, blah, blah. See, you have so many people who are younger and they're just like, we do care. Well, this guy is just erasing all of that.
Brooks, how old is he again?
He's 26. So
I was hoping he was like 20.
Because it's like you're too
like
close
19.
to my age for me to say I don't want anything to do with you. So I feel like this is what people see our age group as. They see everybody as the people in a Walmart literally just licking deodorant in the aisle. So for you guys that are just joining us. I've got to kind of fill you in. So, of course, we want to welcome you to Daily Dive. But listen, this story is out of Missouri. It's of a 26-year-old who literally goes down the deodorant aisle and starts licking all of the items.
She wrote, finally, it didn't happen in Florida.
I know, right? I know. Listen, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, please don't tell me this is a Florida man, because I would be so upset. But yeah, it didn't happen in Florida. But again, a 26-year-old who, goes down the aisle and just licks all of the deodorant. So, now he's arrested because he posted this on social media to be funny. Well, of course, when you post it on social media, they're going to find you. I don't know why we do stupid stuff like that. Like, if you know you're going to get caught and you know you were doing something you weren't supposed to do, why would you ever think it's okay to post it on social media?
Man, that's a good way to wake up this morning, get the day going.
Wait, Katie says you can't fix stupid. Well, hopefully you can fix him while he's in jail. He'll learn his lesson.
Right.
So what's?
Thank you so much.
Was there an arrest made, Brooks? I missed that.
Say that one more time.
Was there an arrest made?
He was arrested.
He was.
Yeah, he was arrested and charged with terrorist threats because he put somebody else's life in danger. Because let's just say he had coronavirus and he sat over there and licked the deodorant. Well, let's say I walk into the store and I go grab it. Well, now I'm at risk. So I am glad that there was at least something out of that.
Man.
Susan said the toilet paper all gone, but the deodorant aisle fully stocked. Yeah, the soap aisle was fully stocked too. Everybody's getting toilet paper right there, and need people to make sure they get the soap as well. Hey Tammy, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, people, this is just way too much. All right, so
wait, Sarah says she's not hungry now. Sarah, I'm always hungry. What time is it? It's time for breakfast.
Sarah, just a whole bunch of foolishness. All right, so we're gonna go over here to this next story that I think we all may have some thoughts about. So there's a company by the name of WeWork, and it's facing criticism. I couldn't hear you, Keitha. I'm sorry.
I lost her too.
We lost you, Keitha. So there's a company that is facing some criticism right now for offering its employees a bonus if they come into work amid the coronavirus outbreak. So that company is right what you see on your screen. It's called WeWork. And employees who feel comfortable working out of the spaces, well, they're given $100 a day or up to $500 a week through the month of April. Now, they had this internal memo that was obtained by CNBC, and WeWork says the purpose of the bonus is not to entice employees to come into work, but it's actually just to award those who do come into work. Now, a lot of people are upset saying you're putting these employees in danger by getting them in. And if you guys don't know what WeWork is one of those places where you have a lot of entrepreneurs and stuff that come into a big workspace. So there's like little cubes that they can all just come in and line up and do their work and do their job with their computers and whatnot. But keep in mind, there's a lot of cubes. Everybody's close by each other, but they would be given, $100 a day if they decide to come in. So do you all think that that's worth it? Is it worth your life, or are you saying this is pretty bad for a company to actually do this?
It's interesting. It's interesting. I think it's one of those deals where I don't know. I kind of feel like society is at a point now where it's just like, stay home. Whatever you could do to stay home. If it's not necessary to go into work, then don't do so. We've been talking about at work. We've been talking about jobs around the First Coast that are deemed essentials. That are necessary for you to be present. So I guess it's just one of those deals where I guess personally I'm kind of used to now everyone just staying home and working at home if you can. So I guess that doesn't necessarily appeal to me, to just kind of have like that bribe there and be like, hey, you come in, you get this extra money. It's just kind of, I think, again, maybe poor timing, maybe a little bit. Money that could be maybe used better some other way or something,
Right.
maybe it's money that can be used at a more beneficial rate.
I'm with Sarah. Did you see her comment? She said, I keep my health instead. So this
Yeah.
kind of raises the question, well, how much is your life worth, right? Because essentially you could be putting your life on the line. We don't know your pre-existing health conditions, what could happen to you if you do contract COVID-19. So it's better to be safe than sorry. So it's $100 a day, right? And 500 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Is your health and safety really worth $500 a week? I don't think so.
Will made a pretty good point too. He had a comment that came up before. It said, if you work for yourself, then you just work at home. I feel like it's easier to work at home if you work for yourself, if you're an entrepreneur that way. So, but in that case, I understand why WeWork, the company, is trying to get people in, because that's how they work, right?
Now, exactly.
That's how they make money.
So,
yeah.
So when you think this,
but then that's kind of greedy. You're
Yeah.
putting people's lives on the line so you can make money. Stop it.
So the name of the company is WeWork. So for you guys that are just joining us, and they're paying their employees, although there are a whole bunch of different entrepreneurs and whatnot who come into this workspace, is one big old corporate office, yet it has a lot of different cubes and people are pretty close to each other. So they're offering the folks that come in $100 a day as a bonus, or $500 a week if they come in and choose to come in. So basically, I think we could all say that they're putting their lives on the line by coming in, because if one person happens to have COVID-19, well, then now everybody that's in that space is at risk. So I see where, you may say, well, gosh, but that's $100 a day, or that's $500 a week. But first of all, that's not really that much money. I don't care who you are. I mean, don't get me wrong, $500 would be great. I think we'd all say, yes, I'll take $500. But at the same time, you got to remember, this is your life. And what good is the money going to do if you can't spend it because you've contracted this virus, and then you're unable to use it because you're either laid up in a hospital bed, or B, your life is so much at risk where you may not survive,
Yeah, Brooks, I just Googled WeWork. I don't know where this specific, I'm assuming all WeWork companies are doing this, but
the same, yeah.
It's headquartered in New York City. So that's kind of where
right.
The hot spot is right now in the country. So I can understand why maybe they're trying to do that to get business, but in a place like New York City, at a time like right now, I feel like that money can be used in a different way.
Yeah, Kenneth's saying
Paulo, you said your company is giving you $1,000 for having to work. Where do you work? I'm curious to know.
I'd
like to go.
Will saying the company is going to change its name from WeWork.
And Bruce, you're right too.
Infected.
The company is doing the wrong thing in this case.
Yeah, this is and
that's a pretty good one, Will.
Especially since I have a mother that just got over cancer. Wow. Yeah, I think that's what you have to think of. And again, I'm not sure how many employers have actually agreed to coming in and working. That part of the story is unclear. But either way,
like I'm cutting off Brooks, but I'm not. I just can't hear him. I'm on a delay.
It's okay. Paulo's saying he works from home. And you work for a bank. Oh, wow. And then they give you guys extra money like that. Okay, not bad. That sounds like a sweet kid. So you're staying safe, at least, with the extra money. It's not like you're putting your life at risk being out there, interacting with everybody. We who work retail should get a bonus. I work grocery store, but someone has to do it. Gabriel, we do thank you for being.
You know what? This is a good point from Judy. They need to give nurses and healthcare workers bonuses. There's no question about that, because our healthcare workers right now, they have one of the most difficult jobs. They really are putting their lives on the line.
They're on the front lines of it all.
Who is where did I just see one? We saw the comment about the grocery store, and then now I see somebody Leslie asking what Walmart was this at, that the man licked items. So it wasn't here in Florida, wasn't here in Jacksonville. This was actually out in Missouri, by the way, and that was at a Walmart, and he licked the deodorant. The
whole aisle.
So
he went down the line.
That video is a little crazy. You have to go back and watch that back. All right, guys, let's get over here to this last story before we have to go, because my producer's yelling at me in the ear. He said, y'all better hurry it up. I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. But that's just what he said. Check out this video. Check out this.
I'm excited. You teed it up pretty good.
Kindergarten teacher, going to put a smile on your face because you're going to need it. Look at this kindergarten. kindergarten teacher surprising her students, literally going around dropping off care packages and gift bags to her students as they're out of session right now. So it turns out she's been teaching for 20 years, and she says that this is her final year before retiring. So of course she's says it's a little hard not being able to see her students simply because in most places schools are on hold, or they're doing the whole online homeschooling thing right now. So she made some care bags filled with sanitized educational games and books, and then she dropped them off to their doorsteps. She made 27 stops. 27 stops for those kids. If that doesn't show you that a teacher loves you, I don't know what will. And I commend that teacher for doing that.
But right now I'm looking at the video. I'm a little delayed right now. I'm looking at the video of this teacher going from house to house. That's so heart-wrenching to see. It's just beautiful to see, rather, because that shows you teachers really do care when they love their kids like that. She's taking time out of her own day right now, putting herself on the line in order to just say hi to her students. And can you imagine how excited those kids are to see their teacher at that age?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
They are teachers are Will said it before. He said the real MVPs, man. They're something special in society. I mean, you think about I'm pretty sure we could all I can remember several teachers from elementary school, middle school to high school, all of which, gave me some sort of specific lesson that helped me become who I am today. And just that simple act that she did, which was just knocking on the door and giving her kids a treat in a time that's very confusing and very frustrating for kids. And maybe they're very confused. They don't know what's going on. They're going to remember that, and they're going to remember the good out of that. Right. And then they could take that and move forward through their life with, to help spread the love. So that right there, man, that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff.
Spreading the love. I like the way that sounds. Some good, definitely.
I think it takes a very special teacher to
shout out to Miss Harris. Hey, Miss Harris, shout out to you.
I think it's definitely important to mention that this teacher made 27 stops. So it wasn't just like she had 2 or 3 students and she just went over there and just made a couple of stops. So she made 27 stops, gave up her day to literally go out there and make these child's day. And again, if you guys are just joining, this is a teacher who decided to deliver care packages to her students, her kindergarten students. This is her final year teaching. She's been in the game for 20 years, and this is her final year. So she hates the fact that basically her year has been put on hold, or some would say ruined, because of this pandemic. We know that it's kind of it's made everybody's lives be switched around and flipped upside down a little bit. So this was her final year, and kind of like those seniors and stuff who have had to, their senior year just is not going to be the same because of this pandemic. So, but she was all good with sacrificing and going out there and actually delivering these packages to these kids, and the kids seem to be very excited.
Am I cutting anyone? Brooks, it would be so interesting to see what happens moving forward with like graduation and prom, because kids can get so creative, right? I like to see if they start having virtual proms.
That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
It's gonna be so cool to see. Or like asking people to go to the prom via FaceTime or something.
Yeah.
Kids can get really creative these days. Especially
Crystal saying our teachers
technology.
in Nassau just did a parade for kids in the neighborhoods. We love our teachers here in Nassau. Shout out to the teachers in Nassau. That is excellent.
Shout out to all the teachers across the First Coast, going through a really tough time right now, having to have your kids learn from, your cell phone or laptop. And we know how, we went through school, I know how tough it is to learn chemistry and physics and just sit through pre-calculus, so having to do that at home, that's tough, it's tough. So shout out to all the teachers making it work and being able to keep on paddling.
It's definitely a tough time for teachers, because you think they're teaching like they're 20 some odd kids in their classroom, and then a lot of them also have kids at home of different ages. So you're teaching your own kids as well as the kids in your classroom, trying to keep up with their classwork, your own classwork. So it's definitely a lot. And they're in that group. We just want to say thank you for sure. It's you guys are a blessing, and we thank you, all of our teachers out there. And again, our first responders. My sister is a nurse. My sister-in-law is a nurse, and Whew, I'm telling you, she is worn out right now, tired. But she just has it in her heart to do what's right for others. So it's nice to see when people are in the field that they belong in, you know what I mean?
And as Tammy says, she says they will remember this. Yeah, those kids are going to remember this for
Oh
the rest of
yeah.
their lives. They're always going to know that teacher was the one who, came and surprised them. I do have to say this though. We looked at, if you look at the video, you could see some of the kids wanted to run outside to go hug her as the parents kind of yanked her like, no, you can't go out because of course they're practicing social distancing, and which I'm sure the kids understand. At the same time, they're probably kind of confused because again, these are kindergarten students, but still, just to see that things like this are happening, it spreading the love in a time which is so rough for so many of us. Um, Kenneth saying just had the same conversation about the seniors. What are they supposed to do if they've already paid for prom preparations and graduation preparations? Yeah, Kenneth, that's an excellent question. I'm curious to see how some of these schools are going to handle it. I mean, nobody saw this coming, nobody saw this coming. Crystal saying, my niece is a senior. It'll be frustrating to her what will be left. They are offering prom pictures for the kids in case they cannot have
Wait, did you
prom.
see what Paulo wrote? I had a few teachers that would have dropped off pop quizzes.
Same. And I would have left them right there on the doorstep too.
Yep.
I would have left them right there on the doorstep. Yep.
Do you guys remember? I'm going to put this, Brooks. I remember this. Do you remember going through school and not and no texting in class? Remember when that was a big deal? Now look where we are now. Kids are getting their class, their lesson from their phone. That was once, prohibited in the halls or in the classroom. So what? And that's in less than what? I don't know. Over the course of 10 years or so.
So Will, you
This
have
whole situation with this pandemic is just so interesting. So it's kind of like bringing us back to the basics. You see a lot of people out in the neighborhood, right, riding bikes and stuff. While we're going backwards, we're also being pushed forward with all this technology. It's mind blowing when you sit back and think about it. I feel like we're in an episode of the Twilight Zone. It's just so odd, isn't it?
I think I'm just curious to know if this is going to become our new normal. I mean, once we get through with the whole virus, will the whole idea of working from home be more popular? Will we start to see school being more like this? I Will it be like a half, 3 days in the school and then 2 days at home? Like, I'm really curious to see this. And I'm really curious also to see if mental health will be a little bit better with folks having somewhat of some separation from people. Now, again, I don't know, and it's too early to tell that, but I'm really curious to see if that's going to change.
That's a good point.
Change things around here.
That's a really good point. And even with maybe a step away from work, I mean, being able to work from home for the next, for the foreseeable future, however long we're doing this, for weeks, maybe months, it maybe takes you away a little bit from the office, maybe by just a couple hours, maybe, because you're working home, you can work your own workflow so you can get things done. And then you can take care of the things that take your mind off. Like we were talking about yesterday, Brooks. You go back to those hobbies, maybe the things you want to take care of around the house, maybe back to relearning some old things that, old tricks that you used to do that you didn't have time for. So maybe there is a little silver lining there that improves mental health a little bit and gives society a way to figure out how to work more efficiently opposed to just work.
Learn from all of this. You mentioned silver linings. Tomorrow on Good Morning Jacksonville, we're going to be talking about silver linings because we posed the question to you guys out there. What are some of the good things you've seen come out of this crisis? And we got a lot of feedback from a lot of you about the good things that you've seen, including families rather, coming together, eating at the dinner table again, which is not normal anymore. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow on Good Morning Jacksonville. I believe it's a buzz segment, so it's going to be pretty cool of course, with the buzz.
Going to be sharing some of that. Let me just get through a couple more comments before we have to wrap up and go. Nicole's saying, someone told me that they don't want to be bothered with their kids all day. I've homeschooled for 13 years and have 5, 2 are adults now, graduated and finished college. They had homeschool prom, graduation. How did that work, having a homeschool prom? Colette saying, I'm sure parents really know what teachers go through on a daily basis. Yes, if you don't have more respect for teachers after this, I don't know what's going on, because I think you're right, Colette. We have to have more patience of our daily routine. And shout out to the medical field, law enforcement, firefighters, blue collar workers, postal work, anybody that is still working, that is out there making sure things are happening, like our truck drivers who are literally up and down the road all day, every day to ensure we get those needed supplies delivered and delivered on time. We do send them a whole bunch of love right now. So, and Alicia said, I think we need both time close and away from people, need the socialization and isolation. Yep. Guys, so we thank you all so much for joining us. You have been watching Daily Dive. Oh, I thought they were still in here. Sorry. Guys, we do, again, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you've had a great time, as we've had a great time checking in with you. If you missed a piece of the clip, you can always stream it back on our Facebook page, on the First Coast News Facebook page. But until next time, stay safe out there. We'll see you.